Shalom.
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 Shalom, how are you?
Shalom, madam.
Shalom is an everyday greeting. It is so familiar that we seldom stop to think of what it means. Is there a more beautiful word than shalom, peace? It is not only a greeting, it is a way of life, a hope, a prayer. But the bitter reality strikes us with ever-growing force. Peace, peace, there is no peace.
The headlines read, Bloody skirmishes along Israel's borders.
Why can the shepherd not tend his sheep in peace?
Jordanians destroy home in the Beisan Valley.
Why does the gong clang at midnight?
Egyptians fire from Gaza, send raiders from Jordan.
Why does the alarm destroy the quiet of the night?
We are threatened on every border. Our lives are in danger, our homes are unsafe.
And only a few years have passed since the United Nations declared our right to live and build in our historic homeland. How we hoped for peace to come and stay. All of us, but the very young, remember how we crowded the streets to celebrate and cry out our cries of joy and happiness. Many of us wept with overwhelming emotion, while our hearts sang out our thankfulness. Despite the threats of the Arab leaders and the gathering of the enemy armies, we issued our Declaration of Independence.
We extend our hand in peace and friendship to all of the neighboring states and their peoples, and invite them to cooperate with the independent Jewish nation for the common good of all. The State of Israel is prepared to make its contribution to the progress of the Middle East as a whole.
But the outstretched hand extended in peace was ignored. The Arabs sharpened their swords. Their battle cry was, Israel must be destroyed. War was upon us.
Those were terrible days for the newborn state. We took up arms, the meager arms at our disposal, and prepared to drive back the oncoming invaders. The battles began and spread throughout the land. Our independence was not handed to us on a silver platter. Our young, untrained army met the enemy and fought them on every front. But the enemy was not easily defeated. They attacked wherever attack was possible, towns, villages, and open cities.
Their planes bombed Tel Aviv, trying to create panic. They destroyed homes. They killed civilians.
Remember, an enemy knows no mercy.
Remember the terrible battles in the old city of Jerusalem.
Remember how we fought in an effort to defend every stone of our holy city. The young men who fought so valiantly against such terrible odds finally won the victory. Their sacrifice remains as an eternal light to remind us of the freedom with which they endowed us. Those who died for us were caught up in the flames of the burning bush and were never really consumed. We must not betray them.
Then the gates of Israel were flung open, and the children of Israel began to stream through them. With the greeting, the blessing, and the prayer on their lips, they came in their thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. The young and the old, survivors of the death camp, war victims, refugees from many lands. They came by plane and ship and overland to join their Jewish brethren in the building of their land of Israel. It is written that Israel was once a land flowing with milk and honey. Thousands of years of war and neglect had turned it into a wasteland. But the land was only sleeping. tens of thousands of willing hands began the work of bringing new life to it. Swamps were drained, irrigation pipes were laid, furrows were ploughed. Hundreds of new villages grew up in the course of a few short years. New settlements were started on our borders.
But our farmers could not sleep in peace after their long day's work.
The land responded to the labour and care which was given it. It awoke from its long sleep. The fields yielded good harvests. Trees blossomed and brought forth fruit. Forests grew where there had been only stone. Wide stretches of wasteland were turned into blooming gardens. It seemed as if the legend of a land flowing with milk and honey was not just a legend. Through work, and still more work, the legend became reality.
First there were tents. They were replaced by houses. The houses grew into villages and some villages into towns. Industry began to develop as an important part of the country's economy. Machines ran day and night, wheels turned endlessly, and hammers pounded without stopping, all working to create the materials for a peaceful existence.
And best of all, here we have Israel's prize product, the sabra.
Israel must be destroyed, says Nasser.
The Arab countries never ceased to proclaim their determination to uproot Israel.
Nasser, we need arms to fight Israel.
And the arms are given them.
Shipments of arms leaves Odessa for Egypt.
But we do not want war.
Russia speeds up the supply of arms to Egypt.
They want weapons to wipe out Israel, to destroy our land and our people.
Nasser justifies Egyptian arming. Jordanians blow up house in Rosh Island. 7 killed by Egyptians. Now we must all stand prepared to do our duty. We must defend our homes and our families. We must put our trust in the Israel Defense Army. This army must be depended upon to defend us from attack and to secure our peace.
They say our army is the best disciplined army in the Middle East. But can our army, or any army, hold out with loyalty and courage alone against the weight of the modern weapons being supplied to the Arabs? Our paratroopers are well trained, but are they adequately equipped to do their duty?
Have we enough tanks and anti-tank guns?
Have we enough jet fighters and bombers to defend Israel against the enemy's newly equipped and bigger squadrons?
The answer is
no, we have not. Can we afford to rest on our past victories in the face of the flood of weapons now reaching the Arab states?
our safety and our future lies in the hands of Israel's defense forces. They cannot defend us without arms.
He needs arms.
He needs arms.
He needs arms.
He needs arms.
Let them have arms.
Let them have arms.
Let them have arms. They must have the arms.
So that the children of Israel can always greet you with the prayer and blessing.
Shalom.